So, you want to learn how to L-sit, huh? Well, come on. I'll show you. So, you've been doing calisthenics for a little bit now, and you want to try to learn to L-sit like this. Well, lucky for you, I'm going to show you how to do that. What's going on, guys? C-Robbie Rob here. Today, I'm going to teach you guys how to do an L-sit as you just saw. So, L-sit, kind of a cool beginner calisthenics move. Pretty decent amount of core strength and a lot of stability. A little bit of arms, triceps are engaged that whole time. So, got to be strong in those areas. Really like the L-sit. It was always a really cool move to do. And surprisingly, from what I found out, is it's actually a lot harder than I originally thought. A lot of people think it looks hard, and when you can do it so effortlessly too, it looks all the more cooler. So, how do you start to learn the L-sit? Well, first things first, let's go over the main point. Core strength. You have to have a good amount of core strength. If you do not have a well-built foundation for core strength, you're never going to be able to hold your legs out parallel like that. So, core strength, number one. Number two, oh, and by the way, when I say core strength, I'm not just talking about just abs. Your core is not your abs. When you're doing calisthenics, it's not your abs. You're engaging your abs. You're engaging everything to do with just that six-pack abs that people think you're referring to when you say core. But there's the rectus abdominis, there's your internal and external obliques, and the transverse abdominis. So there might even be I think there's a couple more that I'm missing actually. But regardless, your core is all of that. Your whole central body area is your core. So that is number one. How do you build that? Well, that's what we're gonna go over. A couple ways to do that. Number one is just basic leg lifts. You can do that on a bar, you can do that laying down, you can do that on the dip bar or hanging from the pull-up bar, either one of those variations. That's a good way. Another good way is planks, core stability. Plank rotations, plank twists where you're going side to side, plank crunches, up down planks where you're going from your forearms to your palms to your forearms. All good core stability exercises. Then, the other things you gotta work on, you gotta have a pretty decent amount of tricep strength. For that, you can start with the basics, bench dips, simple, easy, build up those triceps, get those fired up. You got to be able to hold yourself in a locked out position, which takes a semi-decent amount of tricep strength. So you want to be able to do, I'd say upwards to 12 to 15 bench dips before you try and start attempting the L-sit. And you might be able to do it before then, but good number to have in mind, good starting place. So guys, before we get into the L-sit, one exercise that you should start to do is hanging leg raises. Normally, that would be here and like this. Notice how I'm keeping control the whole time throughout that movement. You ideally want to go at a nice slow pace. I can't touch all the way to the ground, so typically you'd be able to start from the ground, raise up to parallel or 90, and raise back down. Now, can't do this on that bar, but the easier version, since that's actually really hard, even starting out, and if you're not swinging, it's going to be even harder, which a lot of people just swing that movement and you lose all that core strength, power that you want. So the other way is to hang and just do core stability. Even just this, you're already working your core. So here, just hold and keeping steady. Notice how I'm not swinging around, I'm not moving as much, I'm just holding and keeping steady. Then want to pick up, go from different angles if you can, and keep that core stretch while keeping it tight the whole time through the movement and doing it like that. Now, an important thing to remember is I'm not just bringing my knees up, I'm actually leaning back a little bit and rocking. As you guys can see, when I pick up my legs, I'm actually rocking back, getting my butt up. You guys want to be able to see your butt. If I was standing in front of you watching you do this, show your ass. That's what you want out of this movement. You want to really roll that together like this. That movement isn't just up, down, it's up, roll, down, up, roll, down. So, after you've been building up your core strength for a little bit, you're ready to go to the dip bars. You want to give the L-sit a try. But you can't get your legs up and hold. Just can't do it. Good starting spot. Bring your knees and tuck in to here and hold. This will give you that tricep locked out stability. Holding right here is going to build that stability strength from your core until eventually you can stick your legs out and hold in that position. So start with just that. The other thing you can do is same thing. Come here, knee raises. Try to go from different angles. Once again, trying to get your butt to show. Also, notice how I'm not just swinging wildly. Okay, core stability, hold, still. That's your whole body. I can already feel that. Through here, all through here, and through my arms. Everything has to stay tight, keeping that core strong. If you want real core strength, you have to learn movements like this. You don't get that same effect when just doing leg raises or just doing laying down abs or crunches. You have to build control. Stability in your core is what creates that strong balance, strong center of gravity, stronger abs, stronger core as a whole. Guys, another super important exercise. It's good to remember when trying to do skills such as an L-sit, levers, any of the other bigger skills like planche, human flags or anything, you need to have a certain level of base strength. It's the same with the L-sit. Even though it's a beginner skill exercise, you need to have a beginner level of strength, a good base strength, so that you can perform this exercise. How do you do that? Guys, I recommend just doing push-ups, pull-ups, and dips, and bodyweight squats and lunges, bodyweight leg movements. You need an bodyweight core on a mat or at home or at a gym on a mat on the ground. Just doing basic leg raises, knee raises, crunches, things of that nature. I have a full in-depth video if you guys want to check that out, kind of going over an at-home ab workout that you could do to start to work towards this L-sit. Now, those base exercises, a good one to start with is bench dips. I also have a video talking about this, but you guys want to find a bench, and this is probably a little too high, so even lower than this, you lower yourself down and come back up. Working on a lot of triceps, but if you notice, my core is tight and engaged here. We're strong in our core, and we come down and back up. We're pushing through our triceps, letting our triceps do most of the work, but we're keeping that core tight that whole time. If you guys want to go over form for that exercise, I do have a video explaining that in one of my beginner guides to calisthenics video. Check that one out as well if you want to know proper form for that exercise. But guys, do things like that. Do things like incline push-ups on the bar. Do pull-ups if you can do them, or even just hanging from the bar. Simple base exercises that are going to build up strength, because before you ever try an L-sit, you got to have a good base level of strength, or you'll never be able to do it, even if your core is super strong. So keep that in mind. Okay, what's going on, guys? So using our same parallel dip bars that we're going to be using to do our L-sit, we're going to go over progressions. So first progression is going to be very similar to the L-sit. We're going to start the basic one, work our way up. First one is the tuck L-sit. So getting into the same position. Things to keep in mind when you go to do any L-sit or L-sit progressions is keep your arms, elbows twisted in, arms locked. You're going to grab, lift yourself up. And on this first progression, so this would be just standing. This would be the very first base progression. So just squeeze your core and hold like this, locked out. Keep breathing, keep that core tight the whole time, and try not to sway too much or do anything. You want to keep core stability here. So, next progression, following that same thing, elbows tucked in, arms locked out, lift yourself up, okay? Now you're gonna pull your knees up to about 90. Try not to tuck your knees in too much, but you could if you were just starting like this, but ideally, keep those knees bent at a nice 90-degree angle. Arms are locked out, squeezing that core. I'm breathing the whole time, even while I'm talking. It's very important, don't hold your breath, okay? Don't do that. Keep that core tight, let it do the work for you. Keep breathing, keep giving yourself breath and energy. Now, once that becomes too easy for you, I would shoot for about anywhere from, truthfully, if you're just starting out, even if you can only do 3 to 5 seconds of that, do it. It's a good way to build that strength up for this movement. Good base progression. Anywhere up to, once you can comfortably hold that for about 15 to 20 seconds, you can start moving on to the next progression. So, next progression, same thing. Lock out, arms tucked in, knees up, 90. Now I want to stick one leg out. Hold right here. I like to switch a lot when I was doing this and learning this. That's your next progression, just one leg out. I do switches a lot, just switching leg to leg. Try to match the amount of time on one leg as the other. So I do 3 to 5 seconds on one leg, switch, 3 to 5 seconds, switch. Once you can do that comfortably for about 12 to 30 seconds, anywhere in between there. Truthfully, at 15 seconds, you'll be able to do a full L sit, just like that. You'll just hold, keep that core tight, arms locked out. I tend to lean back a little bit into it, but leaning back, I can get my collapse more. I think people that do V-sits typically aren't leaning forward. It's not possible. You have to lean back to collapse together. So naturally, as you lift your legs up more and more, you're gonna start leaning back more. Triceps are gonna get engaged a little bit more. So there you guys have it. That's what I have for you for L-sit progressions. If you guys did like the video, please comment, like, subscribe. Let me know what you thought, your thoughts, if you can do an L-sit, if you've tried an L-sit, and if this video helped you or not. Thank you guys. Peace.